A pink character trying to cosplay as Sherlock Holmes, huh? Yeah, unless you have psychic powers and fight a big-breasted phantom thief, you're not gonna be able to pull off that look. That or you need to become a pony. In fact, both of these characters were played by Suzuko Mimori, weren't they? Huh, that's the oddest bit of typecasting I've ever heard of. Checking off another box in the anime cliches list, we now have ourselves a sports festival episode. Akira was handpicked as the town council's representative, with them calling her a miraculous comet that would lead them to victory. Hey, just because she has red hair doesn't mean she's gonna be a red comet. Come on guys, that's profiling. While she was hesitant at first, thanks to some very unrefined begging, they managed to convince Akira to participate on their behalf. Meanwhile, after his previous defeats, Diable figured the best course of action would be to digivolve yet again. Dude, you can digivolve all you want, but at this point, nobody views you as a legit threat anymore. Akira visits Miku in the hospital and tells her about her participation in the festival. Hearing about this, Miku wanted to go out and cheer for her sister, but the cold prevented her from leaving the hospital. Regardless, Akira accepted her sister's encouragement, but after getting home that night, she realized she had received something else from her. The next day at the festival, both the Kirakira Pasture and Shiel managed to set up shop at the festival, which thankfully meant that we finally got to see more of the best tsundere, Bipley. Yeah, she doesn't appear much or have a significant role in this episode, but hey, I'll take what I can get. The festival began, and in spite of her cold, Akira managed to plow through most of the events, including the 100-meter and the donut rolling race. Yeah, unless Guts Donuts-kun is involved, I'm not interested. Whatever. But yeah, some of these events are a little weird, like guessing which chocolate is made from 89% cacao. What does that have to do with sports? Well, like a lot of stuff in this show, it's left unexplained as we have to shift focus back to Akira and her cold. Each can manage to pick up on some of the signs that suggested Akira had a cold, topped off with the dog animal crystal fainting. So the animal crystals are psychically linked with the Precure? That's actually an interesting detail that we could have used a lot sooner, but no, I guess we have to go through with the body switching episode first. Of course. Ichika confronted Akira about her cold, and then she gave the usual spiel about her dog-like loyalty that drove her to push herself beyond her limits, especially after the town council had treated her and her grandmother so nicely. It really adds nothing to Akira's character that we haven't already seen, so forgive me if it seems like I'm skimming through this scene, because I am. Anyway, they informed the council members about this, and being good guys who begged a high school girl to represent them, let Akira rest for the remainder of the festival. Ichika fills in for her and even manages to win the macaron eating contest. Pretty sure that's supposed to be bread. Jeez, it's sad when even the sports festival from School Live looks more legit. However, as usual, the festivities come to a screeching halt when Diabo arrives and whoa! He actually did digivolve into Were-Garuru-1. I mean, I was kidding about the whole digivolution thing, but I didn't think they would actually follow up on it. Okay, Diabo, you actually have my interest again. He said he was now far stronger than he was 100 years ago, which he kind of proves by draining the Kirakira from everyone, including the fairies. He even deals significant blows to the Precure. Okay, things are actually starting to get a little bit interesting. Maybe we'll actually get a decent fight now after such a long, dry spell. Why did I raise my expectations? Okay, to be fair, it's an above-average fight, with the Precure actually using some tactics by combining their attacks to slow him down before bombarding him with one big attack from Akira. But other than that, it devolves into yet another curb stomp battle. So they defeat Were Diablemon yet again, and the real hero of this episode, Grave, appears and absorbs him into his car. And good riddance! At least now we can go back to somewhat interesting villains starting next week. With that, the episode ends with Ichika and Akira's teams winning the festival, but because Akira caught probably the most contagious cold ever, it ended up transferring to Ichika. Still, at least she had her white knight by her bedside, making her condition even worse. Well, to this episode's credit, it did accomplish one thing. It made me want to go rewatch the sports festival arc of My Hero Academia again. Even though this was advertised as an Ichika and Akira episode, the interactions between the two were relatively minimal. I mean, I'm not a big Ichika fan, especially after she pretty much Deus Ex Machina this week's battle, but still as an episode that was meant to strengthen the bonds between the Precure, it just felt like more of the same. This episode also highlights what's been a big problem with the Diablo arc as a whole. It's mostly cliched filler. Rather than giving us more insight into Diablo and by extension Noir's abilities, the show instead falls back on these tired old tropes. All the while, they're beating Diablo every week, even though supposedly he's getting stronger. Well, at least we've been spared from Mel Diablemon, and next week we might get some more of Grave and, more importantly, his minions. I love those little guys. If you haven't seen it yet, I recently posted up a cooking video where I tackled Yukari's cat macarons. I probably should have made it a couple of weeks ago when there was a literal Yukari cat episode, but what can I say, I'm not good with schedules. Then again, neither is Toei. Next week looks like it's going to be a tie-in episode to the new movie and a Halloween episode, even though it'll be the 22nd in Japan. Didn't think there were other shows out there who can't air their Halloween specials properly like The Simpsons. As for me, maybe I'll do something for Halloween. I didn't have enough time for a Disgaea video this year, but maybe I'll think of something. Until then though, farewell for now my friends, and hark! I think I hear the great pumpkin calling me. Coming, sir!